All right. Let's go ahead and kind of kick us off with a little bit of fun and connecting with each other. This will be a moment for you to meet more than just one person in a breakout room. So get ready for your first breakouts. And I would love to invite you guys to share in your breakout. Each of you will have about 1 minute. So keep an eye on that timer because you don't want to take up all the time and then not get to know your friends. Share two things. One uncommon thing that's on your wish list this holiday season. And then secondly, if you could send anyone a gift right now, who would you send it to and why? So one uncommon thing on your wish list. And if you could send anyone a gift right now, who would you send it to and why? And maybe I could prompt you, who do you wish was with us in this room right now? I'll give an example. I'm Hansen. I want a pickle Christmas tree ornament. I saw one on a tree and I realized I don't have that and I need that in my life. I love pickles and it needs to be on my tree. And if I were to send a gift to someone, it would be my buddy Mike, who just became a dad. And so really cool and exciting. And I haven't seen him yet or met his baby, but I will soon. So now it's your turn. We're going to send you into breakout rooms with like 4 friends. Have some fun, rapid fire, get to know each other, introduce yourselves, and share about what is that funny thing on your wish list. Go ahead and send them off, Genesis. Welcome back. I hope you get to meet a few new friends really quickly, or maybe see some familiar faces. All right, let's go ahead and officially get started. So now we have almost everyone here, I think, everyone in the room. Welcome. You are at a joyful masterclass for connection professionals. My name's Hansen, and yes, that's my first name. And no, I didn't say handsome. I lead community efforts at Covve, including hosting this connection crew and what we're doing today. And what is Connection Crew, especially for those folks who this is your first time? We are the crew for where connection professionals collaborate. A community of peers passionate about connection and inspired to take action to flatten the loneliness epidemic curve. So who is it for? We found through a lot of connection that a lot of the people doing inspiring connection work in the world, what we call connection professionals, we're doing it alone. It was a bit ironic that the folks helping connect the world were a bit lonely in the work they were doing. So we decided to bring those people together, to have a team and a place where your people can hang out and support each other. So that's kind of the who's here in the room and who this is for. And why are we doing this with Covve? So here at Covve, we believe in the mission of flattening the loneliness epidemic curve and being more intentional with our relationships. So one way we do that, for example, with technology, is through these digital backgrounds you see behind me and this QR code over on the side of mine. You see actually other members in the community. If we were in a gallery view, you would see several of these backgrounds. Those are kind of official Connection Crew members and panelists and whatnot. And that makes it really easy for you to quickly connect with someone without kind of disrupting or interrupting the experience. It's a little bit more of a natural flow of keeping connected with someone who maybe you felt a connection with throughout the event. So that's just one of the ways we do it. Or one of the things we do is kind of amplify connection at conferences. We just got back from CultureCon West. Many of the people in the room today were there with us. So it's so great either being there with you or meeting you there. But yeah, really just ramping up connection with the people, the facilitation, and the technology at events. So we have 3 main, so thank you so much, the Covve team. Giannis is here, the co-founder and CEO, but the entire team for making this possible and believing in me to bring this crew together. Now, 3 main takeaways for you guys today is to keep in mind. 1, just that general feeling of connection. It feels good. We want you at the end of this feeling that feeling. 2 is learn and practice 3 connection activities. We have 3 panelists facilitating one of their favorite connecting activities today. So it's your role to just enjoy that and learn by seeing them do it. And then you're going to learn by doing it in a breakout room. And then lastly, you're going to be in a breakout room with one other person for 3 different breakouts. We want you to be able to develop one new friend and feel what that feels like to kind of go deeper with one person. And the goal is depth and not breadth. Our goal is not to meet everyone on the Zoom today. The goal is to maybe say hi to a few friends like we just did in the last breakout, but then go deeper with one person and practice kind of that deepening the intimacy between people and getting to know someone, even if you're just on a virtual experience. And like I said, you're going to be in that same breakout with one other person. So don't leave your buddy hanging. Like if you drop off, that person is kind of left stranded and they've lost their buddy and they'll have to be paired up with a new buddy. So really important, you are here the whole time and present and not leaving your buddy hanging. And a note on being in the room with one person, not everyone will feel like an instant energetic connection with their buddy, and that's totally okay. I invite you to notice how this format gives you an opportunity to connect with people you may not normally have met, and enjoy that kind of experience that we're providing. And at the very end, there will be a time to kind of just reflect, reminisce, say hello to more people. So that's also a time to say hi to your friends or meet some other people in the 15-minute after party at the very end of this. But first off, like I was talking about with kind of who this is for and why we're here, I would love to kind of get a pulse of who's in the room and what you're currently feeling or experiencing regarding loneliness in your own work as a connection professional. So let's launch a quick poll and kind of get a bit of a check for what level of loneliness do you experience in your work as a connection professional? Or, are you on this mission of connection with a team, or are you doing this work alone? And while folks we're collecting some responses here on the poll, I'll give it a second to collect. I would love to hear maybe in the chat, how big is your team that you work with? How many people? How many peers do you have at work to closely collaborate with? And a lot of people in this room do very different things, and that's totally okay. I work for different size companies, but just love to kind of see in the chat, how big is your team? Are you a team of one? Do you have many people? So Zero, sadly, solo, also solo for Clayton, team of me, love it, Bailey. You're a solid team though. 2 to 3 for Steven. All right, cool. So there's definitely some that are coming in from some bigger teams. But then there's a lot of kind of solopreneurs, self-employed folks. And we find that a lot of them are kind of who's in the room and a part of this connection crew. So that way we can bring that team together. Let's go ahead and share the results with everyone. Andy or Hennessis, if you want to end the poll and let folks kind of see the pulse check of who's in the room. It's interesting. A lot of people, large majority, are experiencing occasional loneliness, working alone, but having some good moments of connection. Maybe that's here at the masterclass with your peers. But this is definitely a part of why we're trying to bring the crew together, so you don't feel alone in this work. Now let's welcome to the stage our very first activity and panelist for the day, one of our connection crew members, Rachel Rozen. Welcome, Rachel. So good to see you again today. We've been friends for a while now through professional networks, and it's finally come to fruition that we get to actually co-create something together. This is our first time kind of working together on something, and I'm so grateful for you being here, and that this is where our journeys have taken us. So I would love for the room to get to know you a little bit, though. So share a bit about what you do. Kind of who is Rachel Rozen, but then I also invite you to share what is something that you appreciate about yourself.
Awesome. So I am a networking coach and speaker and facilitator, and I founded a business called Connection Catalyst based in New York City, and I specialize in really empowering people to turn icky networking into sticky relationships, and teaching through practical tools helps really build those authentic connections. But my goal is really to have people have tools in their toolbox that they can build those connections with over time, because networking is not just for professional networking, it's also personal, and it's something that you need to do throughout your lifetime. And I really
look at us now, right? Like, I mean, because you were networking with me, now we're here co-creating this experience with people.
Yeah. Absolutely. And something that I preach about myself is I'm an avid learner. So I'm always looking to learn new things. I never stay stagnant and just one thing. I'm always trying to learn and grow. And I really appreciate that about myself.
I see that in you. And I actually think that's how we met. We were in a course together, I'm pretty sure.
We were.
So like a CMO course, if I'm not wrong.
Yep.
Well, great. I'm excited for the group to experience your activity today. I will let you have the floor and take it away.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Hansen. And really excited to be here with all of you today. So the activity that we're going to talk about is the 3 Ps to sticky relationships. And I like to use this framework when we're thinking about how to deepen connections with people. And what do you talk about? People often are unsure what to say in a conversation. So the first P is passion. The second P is personal. And the third is problem. So today, everyone's going to reflect on what drives them, share their unique experiences, and how you can seek support in overcoming those challenges. The framework really encourages your vulnerability, understanding, and collaboration. So, for example, a question that you could ask around passion is, what's something you could talk about for hours without getting bored? For something that's personal, what's a life experience that has shaped you? And something that's a problem, what is a challenge you're facing right now and what support do you need? So, for myself, for example, one of my passions is helping professionals turn icky networking into sticky, meaningful relationships. And personally, I've learned that being genuine in conversations makes all the difference. However, a problem I faced in overcoming the fear of rejection, I now remind myself every connection starts with showing up as my genuine, authentic self. And the support that I could use is introductions to others who feel similarly and are looking to overcome those fears. So I believe we're going to invite Carrie up to show everyone what this looks like.
Hello.
Hey, Carrie, great to see you.
Yeah, great to be here.
So I'd love to just know from you, what's something you could talk about for hours without getting bored?
Let's see. I could talk about imposter syndrome and stage fright.
Awesome. What's a
Yeah.
challenge you're facing with this, and how can we support you?
So actually I am one of those introvert extroverts, but when it comes to meeting new people, I'm definitely on the more introverted side. So yeah, making those connections at first can be, challenging.
Awesome. Well, we're here to support you in any way that we can, and I appreciate you sharing with us.
Thank you.
So we're going to talk about now how we're going to make this work in the breakout room. It'll be your turn, and all the instructions will get put in the chat for you to see. So we're going to put you in pairs, and you're going to be asked two questions, a passion question and the problem question. What's something you could talk about for hours without being bored? And what's a challenge you're facing with this? And what do you need to be supported? So once you get into the breakout, everyone's going to introduce yourselves. Again, it's two people in that breakout for about 30 seconds each. Whoever has the most recent birthday is person A, and each participant has 2 minutes to share or ask questions before switching roles. You have 6 minutes total, and again, make sure you turn your video on so you get put in a breakout with somebody else. So, hi everyone, welcome back. I hope you enjoyed this first breakout. I'd love to hear in the chat, what inspired you about your partner's answers? Go ahead and type that in. And also think about how this framework can help you in building meaningful connections in your personal or professional life.
Well, let's go ahead and give Rachel a huge round of gratitude in the chat, if you guys will, or feel free to use the Zoom reaction emojis and fill her up with some gratitude and joy. Thank you so much, Rachel, for being here. Thank you for co-creating this and sharing your wisdom with the group. I love the 3 Ps as a very quick, easy framework to, like, when maybe in an uncomfortable, like, awkward moment meeting someone, and I can just rely on that. So yeah, thank you so much for that.
Thanks, Hansen.
And let's cue the music for our next panelist of the day. Welcome to the stage, Carrie Klewin Lawrence. And just so you guys all know what's happening right now, each one of them has their own walk-up song. You can do that in your own events. And how wonderful for Carrie to join us on stage with her song that she wants to feel energized by. Thank you for being here. I can't believe how fast my relationship with Carrie actually grew, because one moment we were on a Zoom call, like getting to know each other. What do you do? What do you do? Type of stuff, and kind of exploring how could we potentially collaborate. And like literally like a few days later, we were at a conference together, collaborating, eating dinner together at the longer table that was set by Tim Jones here, who's in the room with us. And then within another week, she has signed up to be a panelist for this masterclass. So, so grateful for you, Carrie, and you being here and our new friendship. And I would love for you to share a little bit about yourself, but also, like Rachel did, share with us what is something you appreciate about yourself.
Thank you, Hansen. And thank you so much for the invitation. I love being part of this community. And yeah, so I am a stage director and storytelling strategist, and I help people celebrate their originality while creating community and connection. So, we have a lot of synergy around that. And something I appreciate about myself is wordplay, wordsmithing, and kind of looking into the etymology of words, and also that plays through in my storytelling as well. Yeah.
I love
So
that. And now you have volunteered yourself to have me send all of my writing over to you before I ever publish it. Thank you, Carrie.
absolutely. Absolutely.
I will go ahead and give you the floor. I'm excited for people to experience your storytelling activity.
Awesome. Yeah. So one thing that I didn't mention is that wordplay has turned into this book called Origin Story, where I help people work through that process of celebrating their originality. And today, now that you've gotten a chance to get to know each other a little, we're going to take another step towards connecting. So again, as a stage director and storytelling expert, my goal is to connect storytellers with audiences. Notice I said storytellers and audiences. Sometimes we forget that there's that other part, right? Because there is no storyteller without an audience. So today, with your participation, we will practice being an even better audience member, and perhaps develop a tool for listening to Uncle Bill's 20th retelling of that one time he whatever, right? So how do I come to this expertise? I mentioned before, I'm an introvert, also a former diplomat. So I've had the pleasure, or not, of listening to thousands of stories and a lot of strong opinions. Some were easy to digest, and some not as much, to be frank. But along the way, I realized that if I gave myself a different focus, it became much more easy for me to connect, and more enjoyable to overcome the perils of small talk, if you will. There's a concept you've probably heard, not just listening to hear, but listening to understand. And you've probably also heard that people won't remember as much the words you say as how you made them feel. So I started to look past the conversation, the content, the topic, because I might not know anything about hockey or Hanukkah. And I might not agree with your political views, Uncle Bill, but I can see that you value family. I can feel your passion, and I hear the dedication and loyalty of your actions. You see, Uncle Bill might not have directly stated any of that directly to me, but I heard it because I was listening for ways I could connect with someone. I was no longer listening to agree or disagree, or to like or dislike what I was hearing. I was listening to understand and connect. So, how does the story make you feel? What are the values being shared? And how would you describe the content and significance of the story to the storyteller? So, in this activity, you will prompt your partner to tell a short story. And during the storytelling, you'll make a mental list of just 3 words in response. These could be feelings, adjectives, or values you received from the content of the story. The key here is the more specific the story, the better for the purposes of this exercise. So we're going to share a specific memory, tradition, or something unique or unusual related to how you celebrate the holidays. The final piece is that once the story is told and the listeners have shared those 3 words in response, they will also offer a physical gesture in response to the story, perhaps a mirrored expression of the storyteller, or a gesture of appreciation and thanks, gratitude, or reflection. So I'd like to invite Nathan up, because this is one that's best shown by example. And Nathan, the question is, please tell me about a unique holiday tradition you have and why it's important to you.
Well, thank you, Carrie. So a unique tradition for me, one that I'm exploring, is writing a letter directly to God about anything that happened in the year, anything that I was concerned about or disappointed by, then everything that I'm grateful for, and then hopes for the year ahead. And then I put it at the base of the tree.
Thank you. Okay, so now I'm going to offer 3 words, which would be faith, hope, and inspiration. So they might not be directly related to words that he said, they might be. And my gesture will be, okay, so now I'm going to offer a short story to Nathan as well. And he will then be able to respond with 3 words and a gesture. Okay, mine is octopus pizza. So my husband is half Italian, and when I started going to his house as a family tradition, we had octopus pizza on Christmas Eve, and I never understood it until we lived in Italy for a little while, and there's a tradition of the 7 fishes, so I started to look into it more, and now I am very excited that my 3 children ask for octopus pizza every year, and it absolutely delights me to be able to pass on that tradition to them.
And my 3 words for that would be tradition, generational, and creativity. And my gesture would be.
Thank you. All right, so it's time to go to your breakout rooms and share your stories and your 3 words and your gesture. Oh, and be prepared to share those when you come back as well, as you wish. Welcome back. It would be great if you have your 3 words. You could share those in the chat. In a moment, I'm going to ask everyone to share their gesture just so we can get a kind of read of the room. Yeah, I just encourage you to think about those conversations in the future. Maybe you can share how this would be helpful to navigating challenging conversations and taking us away from that like or dislike, agree or disagree, but really helping the person to feel heard and understood by approaching it from a different angle. And let's see, can we put us in gallery and we'll do a 1, 2, 3 for the gestures. Ready, everyone? 1, 2, 3. Thank you so much.
I'm so curious, Brian, about Brian Helfman's gesture. I didn't know what was going on there.
I don't know if that counts as a gesture, but it was just a big exhale.
Oh, I love it. It's a gesture that needs audio.
Yeah, exactly.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Carrie. Everyone, please send gratitude Carrie's way for her being here and helping share her wisdom with us. Give her all the love in the chat. And then also, of course, feel free to connect with Carrie afterwards and keep connected. And I mentioned in the chat, but may have gotten lost. All of these activities will be shared with everyone who has attended today. Afterwards, we'll send out a Google Doc so everyone has access to them and can use them in your own work, in your own communities, or with your own friends and relationships. So thank you again, Carrie. I appreciate you. Super excited that we finally got to do this together. And last but definitely not least, I'm really excited to welcome to the stage Nathan Obokoh. Let's bring him up and maybe give him a warm round of applause in the chat or with the emoji reactions and say hello to Nathan. I feel like this is like the most like epic walk-up song we've had too. Like it feels epic. It's like, yes, Nathan is here. He's made it. So I'm super excited you're here. Nathan and I met through another tool that some of the Connection Crew members use. We do some virtual co-working together on a tool called Groove. We met in a Groove, and he posted about a video that he made. And I watched, I think it was like a 4-minute video, and I watched it and I was like, this is it. This is why I'm here. This is why Connection Crew exists, but in light, like told in a story with using the light. And I was just blown away about how you can tell the story about connection through light and has creative mindset behind it. So I don't want to spoil any more. I'll let him tell you more, but it was really impactful for me. And I just had to have him a part of the crew. So I've been bugging him ever since, even though his time zone's way different than mine. Really happy that he finally could be here with us and share with you guys. So Nathan, please welcome, please say hello, introduce yourself, but also like the others, I would love to hear what is something you appreciate about yourself.
Thank you very much, Hansen. Yeah, well, my name's Nathan Obokoh, and yes, I'm from the UK, Leicester, right in the middle. And something that I appreciate about myself, I think, is that I can be quite adaptable. I can do things I can try and adapt, at least I try to work in different situations or try and fill different roles when needed. So yeah.
I really challenged you with taking your storytelling and turning it into a 5-minute breakout room activity. So I am grateful for your adaptability. Thank you for that.
Thank you,
yeah. Was there more you wanted to share about like light breath and give us a little bit of background there?
Sure. So light breath is a storytelling piece using light, which I'll show you in a moment. And it's really about using the narrative of, trying to get people involved in the narrative connection, talking about connecting to each other, connecting to one another, and then connecting to a greater narrative and just seeing that visually. And then it's a meditative piece, which allows people to get into it and see how that really affects people.
I love it. And I'm excited to see what you have for us today. Thank you for being here. I will give you the floor.
Brilliant. Thank you. Well, like I said, light breath is a storytelling piece, and I'm really interested in these big questions about what's going on internally, what's going on in our connection with other people, and what's going on in the wider imperceptible universe as we make our actions and make our choices. And one thing that I like to talk about is this opportunity called a kairos moment. You may have heard the word kairos, or you may have heard the word chronos at least, which is time, and the time that's going in a linear fashion. Whereas kairos is the idea of an opportune time, something that happens that then can make a moment change, can change the course and trajectory of your life, and therefore the lives of others as well. And it's a moment of choice and a moment of opportunity. And as I tell this story, I'd like you to think about what could be a kairos moment. What could be a moment that's either coming up in your life, something that's currently happening, or maybe you can reflect on something that happened in the past. And I'll share one too. So I'll take you through the story now. It'll be spoken word. I'll demonstrate it on here. It'll take about 4 minutes. What a mystery is existence. Such vastness, such potential. But to realize that potential, we need light. Pure, brilliant, powerful light. It shines through the darkness and creates definition in the shadows. But what is this light without someone to appreciate it? Someone, a dynamic being who can turn into that light. And as they do, their own colors are revealed, brightly shining forth. But of course, life itself is so much better when there are others. A different person, a different shape, different colors. Well, they too can turn. They too can explore. But when they connect, well then, new shapes, new patterns, new tones and new colors will start to appear. Far more than could be done with just one. And a dance starts to begin as others are added, adding their own unique perspectives, their own unique giftings, their own unique colors. And the light begins to be magnified. Chromatic, brilliant colors, all stored in that one pure light, but waiting for people to turn towards it and turn towards one another and explore that connection, that dance of connection and brilliance. And as they do that, and as they turn towards it, the light grows and grows and grows, creating a community of brilliance. But of course, we know that life isn't always so easy. Sometimes people can have disappointments. Sometimes disappointments can turn into bitterness, jealousy or envy, even causing pain. And this can lead to isolation and moving away from one another, and even a turning away from the light. And as they do that, well then, their colors will start to dim, start to fade, until they only create shadow. Unfortunately, the shadow too is contagious, and others will join. And they will join, but this time not adding new light to the world, not adding new colors or shapes or tones, but this time they join in isolation. This time they join in opposition. This time the other becomes a very real thing. And as they do this, the shadows start to lengthen. And it can seem as if the light itself starts to be withdrawn, starts to be come out of reach. But you can see that the light still shines. No matter what these shadows are, and what these shadows are could be for you, there is still the beam of light. And it just requires a little bit of curiosity, that moment of kairos, to question, to check, to see if that light still shines on you. And if it does, well, then they'll take a step. For me, this was a moment with my family. We've had an interesting life, but my mother was, she had her own problems with alcohol and different things going on. And she developed a brain aneurysm. And there was this whole time when we didn't know what was going to happen. And I had a moment of choice. I had to decide what I was going to do with that information. Was I going to hold that against her and wipe my hands of the whole situation? Or was I going to forgive her and move on? And that's what I chose to do. I chose to forgive. I chose to embrace. And then as I did so, I was able to shine on my brother. And I was able to shine on my father. And then we were able to shine on our friends and family. And all these different connections started to grow. And as we did, well, then these impossible situations started to lighten. And we created a new community where those stories and those pains became a springboard for something new, a springboard for a celebration of the value and the vibrance of life and of the light that brings it. And so now I'd just like to ask Rachel to come up and ask her about the Kairos moments here. Rachel, good to see you again. Rachel, if I move the picture back into the moment when there was shadow and darkness and there was an opportunity. The question for you, Rachel, is what would that Kairos moment be for you?
Yeah, so about a year ago, I was getting bullied online, and it was going on for about 3 months, or actually longer. It started in November of last year, and it went until March of this year. And that was a really tough time for me because there was nothing that I was doing that was causing this person to bully me, but they wouldn't stop. And I kept trying to ignore that. First, I tried talking to them. They didn't want to talk to me. They just wanted to keep saying bad things about me and going behind my back and talking to other people and saying bad things about me. And then I tried talking to them. They wouldn't listen. And then I tried to ignore them. And then it was getting worse. And then I adopted a mantra for myself to kind of get over what was going on.
And you adopted this mantra. And so that's your moment that you engage with it and you adopted your mantra and then you turn towards your light. So what would the light and the shadows mean to you in this situation, Rachel?
Yeah, for me, it was really just taking the mantra is Q-tip, which means quit taking it personally, because it wasn't about me. That other person was projecting onto me. And that was the biggest revelation, was realizing that I just needed to forge ahead, and whatever they were saying was on them and it wasn't about me.
Brilliant. And so as you take that moment, it enables you to react to that light. It enables you to change the direction of your life. Thank you so much for sharing that, Rachel.
Thanks, Nathan.
And now it's your turn. So in the breakout room, you'll have 2 minutes to look at your Kairos moment. Think about what could have been going on in the past, as Rachel did, something that I did, or something that could be coming up or is current for you now. What is the Kairos moment where you have a choice to step into the light? And then you can ask yourself, what could those shadows be? And what could that light be to you in that situation? Okay, thank you for doing that. So it'd be really great to hear in the chat what really surprised you about this exercise, or even just the way you managed to interact with the story, or how could doing this kind of exercise, looking for a Kairos moment, or training others to look for Kairos moments, be really helpful or valuable in your community?
This silence is not reflecting what people are feeling, Nathan. I want you to know this felt amazing, this activity, witnessing your story and in the video. Just that was awesome. So if everyone wants to also share a shout out, just saying thank you, gratitude, or what you're feeling, let's give Nathan a round of applause. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. That was really a gift.
Thank you.
And I'm feeling open-hearted, which is actually why I chose this sweatshirt today. But your activity definitely opened it more and helped me connect with Nathan and Carrie in the breakout room that I shared with them. And just the power of that story can really open someone's heart. Thank you so much. And if you're seeing the chat, Nathan, there's quite significant feedback. I know you were asking for feedback earlier as something that you need support on. Here you are. So some wonderful, beautiful feedback. Thank you, everyone. I hope you really had some fun with your breakout room buddy, but also got to open up and share in a way that maybe you're not used to on a virtual experience like this. We are not done today. We have a special surprise that I mentioned when I sent you an email late yesterday. Sorry for the late emails, but I wanted to make sure that we were here and ready. But before we get our surprise, I would love to we do kind of at the end, we always do a quick poll. What would be helpful for you to keep connected going forward? Like what connection resources would be helpful for you? And we added a new option that some of you who are regulars may not recognize at the top. One thing to note is that we are considering kind of having a standard every month or every 2 months, whatever, Google Calendar event that I can invite people to automatically. And I want to know if that's you, like if you want to just be on all of the series of events, or at least get the invite to the next one, and we can go from there. Feel free to say yes to that, and we'll make sure that you are one of the people who will not miss it. But I know sometimes it gets missed in people's inboxes. And so I just want to have it saved on your time or on your calendar in an easier way. And while we're doing that, I think this would be a great time to announce the surprise. We have a gift for you today. Thank you to one of our Connection Crew community members. And the gift is actually to pay it forward and to send a gift. We are going to give you the gift of sending a gift today. And so part of the magic of these Joyful Connection Masterclasses is that many people walk away energized to share the gift of connection with their communities and wondering, how do I do that? Like, how can I take this energy and go spread out that ripple effect out in the world? And this is literally a way we can do this together. So thank you to our new friend, MK, the CMO of Loop and Tie, for their generous donation. To everyone who's still here live gets to do this. They've gifted everyone what the equivalent of a $25 gift that they can send to someone they've been thinking about. I will take this opportunity to say thank you if you have to leave. I'm so grateful that you came today. This is a vibrant community of connection professionals and your peers, where we get to just kind of feel like we belong in a space that is just all people who care about the power of connection, and doing something about it professionally. So thank you for being here. If I don't see you by the end of the year, I'm super excited that we had so many fun sessions together this year. And if I haven't met you one-to-one yet, I hope you maybe click that collaborate button on the poll, because that will prompt me to reach out to you to sync one-on-one. But thank you, everyone. You guys are amazing. It is time for this after party to get started. Man, feeling pretty good. Nathan, how are you feeling?
Yeah, I'm feeling great. No, thank you so much for engaging with the guys. It's and the comments are really, really great. So, yeah, as I said to as Hansen mentioned, I was talking about feedback and being vulnerable about seeing if people understand or get what I was trying to present. So that's really great to see the comments that it was making sense to you and helping you out there. So thank you.
Appreciate that. And of course, we have to start off with Kevin Monroe, the man who has not missed a single Joyful Connection Masterclass. How are you doing, Kevin?
Oh man, this was awesome. And I've seen Nathan do this before, but Nathan, oh my gosh, that just kind of took everything to another level. And I can't wait until we all get our own light kits to do this ourselves.
Yeah, he promised
that was the gift, Hansen. I'm sorry.
Gosh dang it. We got to talk to MK about putting that in the Loop and Tie catalog. So.
And I think this was one of the largest of everybody that stayed. It was amazing. So much energy.
I just had to promise a surprise at the end. Oh, before we lose anyone else here, we will hang out more, but I would love to grab a screenshot with the whole crew.
3, 2, 1. Okay, second screenshot. Got it. Thank you all.
This is like taking photos at night, and you're like, don't move, hold. Oh, I would love to hear from someone. I mean, I want to hear from everyone. We don't have time for everyone, but I would love to hear from everyone. But if you want to share about your experience here and how you're feeling and just saying hello to each other, use the Zoom hand raise so I can see who wants to share. But I also may just pick on a few names. I would love to hear from Melissa Eisler, a close friend of mine in person here in San Diego, but really cool to see you here virtually. I would love to hear about how this went for you. Oh, did I lose? Did I lose Melissa? Probably just lost Melissa, didn't I? We can go to Sarah, because that's how I know. That's how I know Melissa.
No, that was lovely. I had a great partner, and shout out to Chris. We really bonded, and Norman joined me for the end. So it's always fun to have a snuggly dog on your lap during a Zoom call. But yeah, that was really fantastic. I thought it was extra special today. So well done, everyone.
Chris truly is the besting brick everybody, isn't he?
Yeah, good one.
That's all I got.
He's the
that's my
best.
joke of the day.
It's funny, Hansen. So my dad is an insurance agent, and literally he describes himself as the best thing in insurance. So
he capitalized on it.
He went all in on it. No shame.
Any first timers in the room here? I recognize most people. First timers, Tony, share it. How was it for you?
Hi, yeah, thank you so much for facilitating and for hosting, and for everyone for being here and sharing. A big shout out to Richard Leetai, who let me know about this community. I have been a solopreneur for many years, pushing the wonderful message of human connection, and I feel so excited to explore opportunities to collaborate with some of you beautiful folks, as I am at one of those Kairos, is that the term Kairos moments?
Kairos, I think is how
I am at a Kairos moment in my career and life right now. So super excited to have found this beautiful community. Thank you for having me. And thanks to all the presenters for sharing your wisdom.
So glad you could be here with us, Tony. Thank you. And Shayna.
Hi, everybody. Thanks, Hansen. You and I met, what was it, like a month ago now?
Yeah, I think so. My professional wingwoman friend, because you posted about connection as a service on LinkedIn. I was like, that's me. That's what we're trying to do.
that and Melissa Moody, who is not here tonight, right? I don't know who knows Melissa, but she's a connector through and through. I asked a question in the chat, but I don't think anybody answered to it. Is for the three presenters, what do they need the most help with? And then for Nathan, do you have a TED Talk? Because you should.
Should be a TED Talk. You're right.
Yeah. And like I used to produce TEDx Stockholm, so I can talk to you about how to get on stage because that's such a fascinating thing you did.
Well, thanks very much. Yeah, I don't have a TED Talk, so yeah, I'd be more than happy to talk about that. That'd be great.
Where is everyone connection platform? Like how do we do this, Hansen? I don't know the rules to this game.
Just follow up with him.
Yeah, but I looked him up on LinkedIn. He has 2 connections. You're one of them, like 2.
Nathan is not so active on LinkedIn. Find Nathan on, I think, Instagram, right? Nathan is probably your preference, or
Can you
your
post
website?
your link in the chat?
Okay, yeah, I'll put something in the chat. Yeah, I'll put my Instagram in the chat.
And just so you don't get all like nervous about finding each other's info here on the chat, when we share the activities, we will also include the panelist details so you can get in contact with them.
Cool.
So
thank you.
Thank you for being here. And I'm so stoked to keep learning from you, Shana, and your wingwoman and wingman service for folks. Who else? Cynthia, how was it for you today?
I always sort of come in like I'm gonna be connecting with people. There's a lot of like emotional vulnerability. I don't know if I'm up for it, but I push through because I know I'm gonna have a good time, you know. And then I come in and I have a better time than I thought I was gonna have. So I mean, today especially Nathan's thing just like blew me out of the water. Tess and I sat in our breakout room afterwards, and I think we just like looked at each other for like 30 seconds, like, wow. So anyway, Alexandria is new and I want to hear from her.
Let's hear it. Welcome, Alexandria. Good to see you.
Thanks, Hansen, and thank you, Cynthia. So glad to be here. I met Hansen out on the West Coast for a culture conference, and he told me all about this, and it's just really great to be here and connect with like-minded individuals. I would say one of the things that I really enjoyed and I put in the chat was the reminder from Nathan around Kairos time, just being a person of faith and getting so caught up in the time and the moments of today. Definitely in a tough period with work and transition. So that was just a really good grounding moment and also very beautiful. And really appreciated. I was in the chat with Aaron. We had some good discussions, and I feel like we're in a similar situation with work. So it was just a nice break in my day.
Thank you, Alexandria. So glad you could be here. I loved meeting you in person, and then now we're here hanging out virtually. And one of those in-person connections too, Patty, this was your first time, but we've known each other. We've been to 2 culture summits together, and we've collaborated together. But this is your first actual masterclass online. So love to hear how you're feeling, how this went for you.
I'm feeling so energized. I knew it was going to be outstanding. You just exceeded my expectations with the panelists, and I had the pleasure of meeting Carrie previously. And when you're on a journey, and Kairos is something that I've grown up with as part of the Catholic faith and retreats and things that my family and people that I know have been on. So hearing that back again was almost like reaching back to something that I know but hadn't thought about in a while. And the greatest compliment I can receive is when someone says, which happened, I was at an event last night, and I've tried to be more intentional. So these tools and these exercises have been just so inspiring. But I was at a networking event with 75 people, and this morning I got a very nice note that said, in all my networking events and all the things that I do, no one has ever asked me, what can I do for you? How can I support you? And so these exercises just reinforce the fact that people are craving this more authentic connection, and just one person coming back and saying, yes, this is what I want and need, just reinforces that. So I'm glad to see everyone today. In person is always fun and exciting and interesting, and I'm just so appreciative of this community, and looking forward to more in 25.
I love that. And that's one of my favorite things about Rachel's activity was the problem question, just making it so seamless to then lead into, well, how can I support you with that? Like, what does support look like for you?
Right.
And that's a powerful one for me. to use. So let's see, MK, you're a fellow marketer in a connection kind of workplace culture room. What is that experience like for you?
Yeah, I mean, the gift that you all gave me and just this experience was fantastic, first and foremost. But the gift of sending gifts is that's what we do around here at Lupentide. We actually have found some research that says that the psychological and physiological benefits are greater for those who send gifts than they are for those who received gifts. So gifts, send gifts. They don't have to be anything grandiose. They can just be small little tokens of recognition and appreciation. And as Nathan portrayed, it's just shining and reflecting somebody's life out there and how impactful and brilliant they are. So, and it's the time of giving right now as well too. So have fun with the way you're giving to each other, whether it be time, energy, resources, or an actual gift as well too. This community is beautiful, brilliant, by the way. So wonderful.
Well, thank you for being part of it, and thank you for your gift to give the gifts and send them out in the world. And we had probably over 60 people just got email notifications that they just received a gift from a Connection crew member. That was pretty cool. Not quite the ripple effect. Covve team, Giannis, Melina, Fivos, how did it go?
Ladies first, Melina. Oh, I wasn't sure who else is in the room. Yeah, I thought it was amazing, and actually what MK just said really hit home, really resonated. I love getting gifts, and so that kind of put a piece of the puzzle into place as to maybe why I love doing that. Great session, amazing panelists. Each exercise on its own was really enlightening, is the word I'm going to go with for this one. Thank you.
Thank you. And that is, we are 2 minutes over time of our after party. I invite everyone to close out the same way with me. But before we do, if you have any parting words right now, before we do, now would be the time, because we're going to end it for everyone at the same time. But thank you so much for being here. Really grateful for you guys. I actually love this time of year and being really in my gratitude practice. Not just saying that because Kevin's here. I'm really grateful for each and one of every one of you. Most of you I've had the pleasure of meeting, whether it's virtually one-on-one or in person. And that's been the coolest thing for me this year, is a lot of the virtual connections or networking that's happened over the last several years of my life forming into friendships and deeper relationships that now we can collaborate together, like Rachel and Carrie and Nathan, and co-creating this experience for you here today. And many more of you in the room have already helped as a panelist and co-create these things, or gone to conferences together, or hung out together in person. Just thank you so much for being a part of this and collaborating. We're going to keep going in 2025. So I will tease, there will be in the post, the follow-up email, probably tomorrow, there is another gathering, like a 2024 reflection gathering hosted by Brian Helfman from Third Nature, a community member. I don't know if you're still in the room, Brian, but he was gracious enough to invite us to that and give the Connection crew a promo code for comp ticket, so we can all go reflect together if you're up for that. I think it's next week. So thank you, everyone. The way we close is we'll do a high five, simultaneous high five, all at the same time to your camera. And that's how we'll know that this party is over and say goodbye to each other. So thank you, everyone. Let's go ahead and wish each other a happy new year, and we'll see you in 2025. High five.